Hello, friends, and welcome to Storytelling and this mini workshop where we are going to get you connected to the point and purpose of your story. My name is Marisa Sturts, and I believe that each and every one of us has a story, but it takes a bit of discernment to figure out which parts to include and what to leave out, and what's interesting and valuable to your audience and what's not. And most importantly, what's the story that you want to tell that serves you best? A little bit about me. I've directed and produced films and documentaries for over 15 years, created and hosted a documentary series on Gaia TV, sharing how psychedelics help us heal trauma, and produced and hosted a storytelling interview series with community leaders, all with the mission and purpose to amplify stories that celebrate healing and becoming conscious of our unconscious shit. Of course, this sort of important work requires a little dedication, so I invite you to prepare with me. You're going to want to be in a quiet place with little interruptions. And though this video is short, the process can go deep. So try and give yourself a little extra time. You're also going to want to have some paper, 8.5 by 11 is ideal, some pens and highlighters if you'd like. And this can also be done on your computer. So go ahead and press pause and let's get yourself oriented. So if you're here because you know you have a story. But which one and why? And is this a story that's relevant to your audience? I've got 4 steps that are going to help us figure that out and get to the point and purpose of your story. And first, I want to do a little overview. We're going to start by looking at step 1, your life's experiences. And we're going to get clear on which parts of those want to be in a story. Next, we're going to look at why do you want to tell a story? What's the goal at hand? How do the two intersect? Thirdly, we're going to look at your audience's interest. Who are they? What are they wanting to hear about? And fourth, we're going to find the intersection of them all. Okay, sounds good? All right, so let's dig into number 1, framing your story. When you are looking at all your life's experiences and you're like, which one of these wants to be a story? Which one do I pick? I found that it's actually most helpful to start not with the experience, but how it actually changed you. So we begin with this inventory of transformation. How has life changed you? What changes have you experienced that you find most valuable, most interesting, most story worthy? I want to give you some examples to inspire this inquiry. So, we're looking at transformations of going from judgmental to allowing, going from a place of ruminating into more presence, going from hypervigilant to relaxed, lacking focus to finding purpose, controlling to flexible, illness to health, fearful to trusting, oppressed to freedom, stagnant to creative, closed off to open, scarcity to abundant. Are any of these resonant? Do any of these feel like something you want to be telling the story of? Do you have something that's not listed here? Great. Go ahead and write it down. Let's pick at least 2 or 3 personal shifts that you've gone through that feel like they're story worthy. Go ahead and press pause and give yourself a couple minutes to explore. All right, next part of this framing step is to identify the catalyst. In those 2 to 3 transformations that you have listed, what are the life events that helped catalyze these transformations in you? You got travels or heartbreak, or challenging relationship, the birth and death of a loved one, depression, a psychedelic journey, unpacking childhood trauma, depression, career issues, illness, a big move or shift in life, spiritual breakthrough, a loved one going through difficulty. And often the catalyst, these are kind of the mechanisms behind it. But sometimes it's like, oh, I dropped a cup and it threw me in a meltdown. And that is also just as good of a catalyst. So, what is the catalyst that has played a big part in your transformation? Go ahead and press pause and journal those top 1 to 3 catalysts for change. All right, welcome back. Hope you've got one or a few things listed. You've now got the main ingredients of the story you want to tell. And next, we want to start filtering them. Let's look at the goal at hand. This is actually step 2. Why are you wanting to tell your story? Perhaps it's for your own personal growth so you can better understand yourself. Perhaps it's because you feel the call to be a teacher and your voice and your story is part of that. Perhaps it's because you've overcome something really difficult and you feel like you need to help others. Perhaps it's because you hold a vision of the beautiful world our hearts know is possible and you want others to trust you and share it with you. And it can be all of the above if you're very ambitious. So whatever it is, let's go ahead and write down all the reasons. Next, number 3, who's your audience? It might be you. You might be just working on the story for yourself, and that's great. It might be one specific client, or it might be potential clients that you've been noticing yourself wanting to work with. Maybe it's somebody who's struggled in a similar way that you have. Whoever it is, put yourself in their shoes and describe them. What are they struggling with? What are their desires? What kind of story would be interesting and compelling to them? Go ahead and press pause and journal about it. So, lastly, we're now at the fourth step. We're going to narrow down how all these pieces fit together and start telling the story you want to tell. So, you want to look at those transformations you have listed within your life experiences and you want to evaluate which of these serve the goals that I have in telling my story, and which of these are interesting to my audience, and which fit all three. Go ahead and press pause and start journaling. All right, friends, good job bringing all these pieces to the table. These questions aren't always easy, nor do they need to have a super clear answer right off the bat, unless, of course, you've been thinking on this for a while. But you should have some new ideas, some new filters to play with as you consider which story do I want to be telling and does it serve the goal at hand? I invite you to journal in the following days and take note of any insights that come through. It's really helpful also to share this process with friends because talking about it, there's just a lot of catalyzing that happens there. And when you are ready for more, I will be sharing more tools and frameworks through my Instagram and emails. And I also offer one on one sessions and have a course launching soon. So keep your eyes peeled. And until then, happy storytelling.